We're live. Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome to a special. We're on 3 YouTube channels tonight. We're under Potato Shop Podcast. I'm here with Aaron Dutch Murdoch, as you can see, and I'm Brian. Right now, we're under Owensflix. We're under Maximum Libertarian, and we're also under Potato Shop Podcast. This is something we're trying to do. We're going to do probably once a month. We're trying to get subscribers. So if you're new to it, please click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like and share this video.
So, guys, what we're going to do basically is right now we're watching Survivor Series. Tonight, WWE is going to be saying farewell to The Undertaker after 30 years. And for those of you that don't know, Undertaker got his start here in the WWE at Survivor Series. He was part of a $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase's Survivor team. Anyway, so we're going to be watching this. We'll probably be talking some about, classic Undertaker matches, Undertaker through the years. One of the things that we've talked about, not so much here with the podcast and stuff like that before, but that we've talked about is how the Undertaker's character has changed through the years and how he's been able to reinvent himself from when he first debuted with just the almost like undead kind of look all the way up through what he is today. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, he's been a constant here in the WWE. He's been a good character. He's still got the best entrance in the business.
Bar none, the best entrance in the business. That's right.
Even though it's pretty much the same as it always has been. But overall, I think this has been really good. But I know they're saying this is a farewell to him, but I have this gut feeling. I just have a feeling something's going to lead to one more WrestleMania match, and then that's going to be it. I don't think this is going to be the big farewell like everyone's wanting it to be.
You may be right about that. It's the one thing that I've been watching or that's crossed my mind is boy, that looked awful.
What's that? Look, I missed
those splashes. They just look terrible.
Now, currently, right now, the Street Profits are taking on.
Street Profits taking on New Day. New Day is usually very entertaining as far as their mic work and stuff like that. But, boy, I tell you, this just is a bunch of, looks like acrobats in here, the way they're flipping and flopping. You got to understand, we grew up watching back in the day the old Crockett Territory, NWA, Ole and Arn Anderson, Full Horsemen, Bruiser Brody, the Freebirds with Terry Gordy, Buzz Sawyer. These are the guys we grew up watching. Wahoo McDaniels. When you give you a prime example, when you watch the I Quit match between Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA, at no point did they do any of the high risk or the high maneuvers, the flips and flops that these guys are doing today. And it's, obviously, as you know, and we've talked about this before, wrestling is in a decline. Obviously, with the pandemic being what it is, it has obviously hurt attendance to the facility or to the shows. But I think the quality of the days of in-ring psychology is gone. Would you agree with that?
It seems like it. They pretty much seem to have picked up all the luchador stuff and left ring psychology back. You have a couple that are really good. And these guys are all of them are entertaining, but this is the first WWE pay-per-view we've watched. And last time I remember watching pay-per-view was not WrestleMania 35 with Ronda Rousey, and I didn't even see the main event until the next day because it was so excruciating long. You know.
I remember back, I guess you could say, in the heyday of the Monday Night Wars, if WWE would have tried to pull off a 7-hour stint, pre-show stuff, and they probably could have got away with it. Because I remember being into wrestling so much that, if they would have did a 4-hour pay-per-view with a 2-hour pregame or whatever beforehand, I probably would have watched all of it. But now I can't even wrap my head around it. Watching that kind of.
No.
I honestly, I think that 3 hours for Raw is a lot.
Right. It's strange how that. I don't know why they would have make WrestleMania so. And I tell you, I know New Japan's doing that with their New Day, or with their what was that, Wrestle Kingdom. I believe they do 2 days now, and I can tell you, I would not want to 2 days, 4 hours each, or whatever. That's just too much. I mean, I guess it's better to split it up.
Yeah. Now, don't get now. When you talk about splitting things, like take WrestleMania. WrestleMania is not so much a wrestling. Obviously, it's still a wrestling show, but the thing that is impressive about WrestleMania, it's not just you go to the pay-per-view. WrestleMania is an all weekend. Like, if you're somebody that goes to the actual show, if you're going to WrestleMania for the weekend, that's an entire weekend experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going to Comic-Con and a wrestling show all together. You got all the wrestlers that are there that you can do the meet and greets with. They got all different types of attractions going on prior to the event itself, and then of course WrestleMania itself is just a spectacle to be seen. I mean, whether you like him, or you don't like him, Vince McMahon has absolutely done a great job with WrestleMania and what he's made. And being a loyal Crockett Promotions kind of guy, it hurts me to say that that WrestleMania is the granddaddy of them all, because I was a Starrcade guy. But that being said, we won't necessarily go down that road right now. But powers that be at Crockett, later on WCW, you did not have people that appreciated and cared for that company like Vince McMahon did for WWE.
Right. Mm-hmm. So Street Profits just beat the New Day. I mean, it was a fine match. So I guess now they're going to all shake hands and show respect and all that good stuff. All right.
The New Day, what makes them a fun group to watch is the fact that them guys are not just entertaining in the ring. They are very entertaining, like on the mic when they do the little segments and stuff like that.
Right.
They're like a total package. The other thing that's fun about them is that they can be the curtain jerker, or they can be the guys finishing up the show.
True.
They are able to be on both. They're able to do it both.
Did you by chance see the video that's come out with Lana? She's upset because she gets picked on social media.
I have not.
Yeah, that's making its rounds. And of course, you're having everything from don't read the comments to leave her alone, or whatever the case might be. But I find it to be, we live now in a world with everyone lives behind a keyboard and gets to type. They don't have to show, state real names or anything to that nature. So in turn, they feel more secure in making these harassing people, if you will. I think she should be like Joe Rogan. Don't read any comments whatsoever. You know.
Now, let's talk about Sami Zayn here.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say Sami Zayn is like CM Punk in the sense that he is skinny fat?
I guess.
Never heard that expression. I always got a kick out of that when he's telling me how Triple H describes CM Punk as skinny fat.
Right.
And it's like, what does that even mean? Yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying, but it's.
So if you're joining us right now, thank you so much for coming on. I don't know which channel you've joined us through, but we've down in the description, it says Potato Shop Podcast. It's got Maximum Libertarian. It's got Owensflix. We're asking you, please go to each one and subscribe. Click the notification bell and like and share the videos. And we're just trying to boost the subscribers for each one of ours. So thank you for coming in. If you have any questions, just send a comment. We'll see it, and then we can answer it. Bring it up on screen. All right? So right now, Sami Zayn's out in the ring, and the Hurt Business, I guess, is coming out. I guess he's taking on Bobby Lashley. Let's bring up comments.
Now,
Lashley's a guy who should be pushed hard.
well,
no, he really they've
what on what basis?
Because he's an actor.
Because he fights MMA.
Because he did this. Well, when he did Strike Force, like they had built him up over in TNA very well, and when he showed back up, that was the whole. Everyone was thinking, well, he's going to go take on Brock Lesnar. He had really, he's gotten better.
So, all right. So let me ask you.
So in turn, no, I'm not saying he needs to be pushed and given the world title by any stretch, but I would definitely have him up more upper echelon. I mean, he's a big guy, And in today's world, like in wrestling, we're supposed to have all these little skinny guys. You know?
Yeah, well, what I was going to ask you was, he takes on Brock Lesnar MMA. Who wins?
No, Brock Lesnar.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to put those two in the ring together.
Right.
Simply because of the fact, when Kane did his little stint, he immediately went in there against Brock.
Right.
What happened to Kane? What's going on with him?
He's the mayor of Knoxville.
Not Kane, I'm sorry. Cain Velasquez is who I'm talking about.
Oh,
not
they
Kane.
just released him. He had a knee injury. They put him out. That he was getting healed. I think he got injured again or something, and they just let him go. So,
it begs the question: how can a guy, an athlete at his level, talking about Cain Velasquez, that is, what's going on that he stays injured like he is?
Training, the way he trained. All you have to do is look at that video of him doing the kettlebell swings with was it 260-pound, 265-pound kettlebell? And he was using all back. If you really want to know, I think that's one of the things. Who is it? And I think it was Connor was talking about it. But someone just came out recently and was talking about, they spent $1 million on their self, getting healing, doing all the stuff. Gosh, I know LeBron James does a lot. Maybe it was Russell Wilson that was the article, but and that's becoming really, really big. People hitting the cryotherapy, um, and all the alternative stuff to try to do the healing.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely one thing about this business here is that these guys get hurt, and they're to say that they don't wrestle with a certain amount of pain each night would be a lie.
Right.
It takes its toll. Look at Hulk Hogan, doing the leg drop and the toll that took on his hips.
Yeah.
For how many hundreds of thousands of leg drops he dropped. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, whether that mat gives with you or not, you're still landing on a solid surface, and you're just not meant to collapse like that repeatedly.
Right. Shelton Benjamin's a good wrestler too, but I don't want to say he's too old by any stretch, but he don't seem to do much.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If it wasn't for the fact of the Undertaker saying his farewell tonight, or allegedly going to say his farewell tonight,
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't be watching this anyways, because I haven't really been interested in WWE programming in a long time. Ring of Honor, NWA, AEW. Those were pretty much the wrestling I was watching, but
I liked NWA and Ring of Honor. I mean, I like if AEW's on when I'm around, I'll watch it, but I don't try to rush out to see it by any stretch.
But yeah, aside from like Brock Lesnar, there's a few guys here in WWE that I enjoy. Like Brock Lesnar. I enjoy, of course, the New Day, but of course, New Day's not. I don't enjoy the New Day enough to say I want to tune in for the New Day.
No.
I enjoy Seth Rollins. But
Yep.
That's about it, really. I can't say that there's anybody else that I tune in to want to see.
And
AJ Styles was good, but again, AJ Styles is not somebody that I'm going to tune in to watch.
I think WWE's done a bang up job in making you not want to watch your product. And I'm telling you now, and we've talked about it on Maximum Libertarian, with the unions coming in. I know Andrew Yames wanting to spearhead it, and push it through. WWE has made a lot of dumb, like getting the fans, not letting the wrestlers do the cameo or Twitch or something, because they said some of them female wrestlers were making more on that than they were with their WWE contract.
Yes.
So in turn, had they just let them keep doing it, because all they're going to be doing is promoting the business here. So why not let them do it? You don't even have to. And now they're not going to be complaining because they're getting some extra cash. Because see, it used to be where they had the house show and the merchandise. That's where they would get a little extra cash, too.
Right.
Now they're stuck in one arena, and that's it.
Right.
But that's what's going to push them through. And I'm afraid what's going to happen is when WWE, if a union was to show up, or let's say SAG, a lot of the stuff that the wrestlers are getting right now, I think, would go away. There might be some type of little benefits that they're getting. And I tell you, I don't want to see the Ali Act with the UFC, because God knows we don't need the federal government being the sanctioning body, because they've done a terrific job killing boxing with WBA, WBC, IBF, WBA. Who's champion? Oh, they're giving up the belt. So UFC, if they're not thinking about it, I would already have it planned to turn these fighters into employees so you can sign them for 2 weeks or two matches and then move them along or whatever. That's how I would do it.
Well, again, is the UFC any different than WWE in the fact that the UFC came into this promotional deal with Reebok, and in turn cut out all the sponsorships. Now they'll be like, oh, you can still have sponsorship, right? But the whole reason that somebody wanted to put their stuff or wanted to sponsor a fighter is they wanted their product on their tights.
You would want it on the tights or on the big banner behind them as they're getting announced. I wouldn't pay. Some of them fighters were getting 6 figures.
Right.
So they would get injured, but because they had the sponsorship, they were able to live.
Right.
Now they get $2,500 for if they've had 0 to 5 UFC matches or something.
But it is, and it's like you said now. Still one of the big things that they're talking about is the UFC. Those guys complain about pay. The amount of pay that they get per fight. And I know we've talked about this before.
Okay, well, look at that. Did he quit? With a full Nelson.
That's good. That's Ken Patera style right there, buddy.
Yeah.
It was total domination on Lashley's part.
See, that Hurt Business is a really...
That's good. That's good.
It's a good-looking group.
It's a good-looking group. I like the way they're carrying themselves.
Right.
It is. That's a...
and they all are good wrestlers.
That's a
MVP, Shelton,
right.
Bobby, and so I think it's Cedric Alexander. He's from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that is a solid that's a solid lineup right there. It's a good stable.
Yeah. So Bobby Lashley won. So if anyone has tuned in and you're going to be seeing this, please go to each one in the description and give us a subscribe to Potato Shop Podcast, Maximum Libertarian and Owensflix. Click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, help us out, and we would appreciate it.
Teammates, they do, they weren't listening to us. I went out there. Lost. Look, bro, just cut them a break. It was 5 against 1. I asked you to be. Come on, bro. Come on. You do that thing. Nah, you're not going anywhere. You can go. Just stay right there. You lost because you can't control the team. You can't control the team because they don't fear you. They don't fear you because they don't respect you. They don't respect you, they don't respect me. And they don't respect me, they don't respect our family. If you can't make them respect us, then you don't have a place in the team. As a matter of fact, just get out of here. It's this. Just get out of here. Go find your brother and get out of my room. I don't time for losers. That's enough.
That was good.
Paul Heyman, I don't know how much he's helping Roman Reigns, but
that's probably one of the best Roman Reigns interviews I've seen yet. Or little segments there.
He's going to be. It'll be just like Rocky. They were booing him. They turn him bad. Then everyone goes crazy for him. And I think this is what this. That's what all this is going to happen. So with all the changes, or that's not even changes, let's go over the Iron Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. Let's see. They're going to be wearing 12-ounce gloves, 8 2-minute rounds, no headgear. If they're cut, match is automatically stopped. And then who do you see winning this? I mean, like I said, it's a neutered boxing match.
I guess the thing about it is the way they've got it set up. There is not going to be there's not going to be anybody declared a winner. It'll be left to the court of public opinion.
Right. WBC is going to have some type of, I think, like 3 former champions watching, doing their something like that.
They've watered it down so much to where it begs the question: is it really even worth paying to buy the pay-per-view?
I'm having. I wish I could have better feelings, but I don't know. I mean, Mike Tyson looks good. Roy Jones Jr. looks like they're both throwing good hands. But I really don't know. I'm in agreement with you. Hey, everybody, welcome there. I see that we've got a couple viewers there. So thank you for clicking on. I don't know which channel you're on, but down in the description, you can go to all 3. You got Potato Shop Podcast, Maximum Libertarian, and Owensflix. We're trying to get some new subscribers to each of the channels. So please, if you're not subscribed to one or the other, subscribe to all 3. We have here on Potato Shop Podcast once a week. We do a podcast. You can find it here, and it's also on wherever you find your podcast right now. So please do us a solid and like it. So right now, what you're about to see is Asuka taking on, I guess, Sasha Banks.
Yep, Raw champ versus SmackDown champ.
Yeah,
right now we have nobody watching us.
That's fine.
I know, but I was gonna say when we're sitting here talking, it's funny. We're talking like we actually got eyeballs on us, and we're just sitting here talking to nobody. And then your reaction when somebody clicks on me, it's like you're a dog with a score. You're like, "Hey, welcome to Potato Shop Podcast."
Well, I mean, we've picked up subscribers since we've started doing Maximum Libertarian. We're trying to hit that every about 4 times a week for a half hour each day.
Yeah. How many subscribers?
16 right now. But Owensflix, it's up to 143.
After 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years. But still, I mean, it's still moving up. I think one thing it needs to be done, obviously, is you got to have that constant new content. And so let's see what happens. But as you can see, we got I'm paying for the premium, so that way we can put the logo up there and all that good stuff.
Sasha Banks has said goals unstoppable, the leader, the boss of Friday nights. No doubt in my mind that I am the best of the best when it comes to facing Asuka. Well, the overconfidence has served Sasha well for the majority of her career.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Charlotte Flair was the first one to pin Asuka, correct?
I think you might be right.
I think that's the case. Yeah. Because that was, unbeknownst to us, that was kind of a big deal in the wrestling world with Flair.
Well, Asuka's a good worker,
right?
And they had her get that. Maybe that was where maybe it was the Royal Rumble where Becky Lynch won it. She lost to Asuka at the very first match, and then she just walks out there interjects herself into the Royal Rumble and she wins it. And it was one of those moments where WWE did not want Becky Lynch to be. That's what really surprised me more than anything is how WWE tries so hard instead of listening to the fans, sit here and go, "Oh, we got to do." We're this is how we're going to do it. I understand that sometimes you want to finish a storyline. I'm cool with that. But sometimes when a wrestler's getting booed and people aren't coming out, you change.
Well, the thing about it is, though, you can't sit here and tell me that WWE sees anybody as competition to them.
No, they don't.
Because they match up NXT against AEW.
Yeah.
And NXT's their junior show, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not even. Now, granted, NXT is probably the better of the products as far as storylines and everything like that, but they put NXT against AEW, and then they don't even acknowledge Ring of Honor and NWA.
No.
Any of them. And, so in turn, I think that a lot of times the people doing the writing and stuff like that, all they're going to do is whatever they want to do because it doesn't matter.
Right.
It just doesn't matter what we want. And like I said, one thing that has always bothered me about the way WWE took their business was that you and I grew up diehard, lifelong fans of wrestling. And we grew up buying the pay-per-view, buying the music, buying the T-shirts, the action figures, all that stuff. And the way they, repaid people that were diehard fans was they completely just shit the bed on us.
Oh, yeah.
And now, to be honest with you now, I don't see WWE trying to create lifelong wrestling fans. I think that they're, if they can get a couple of years out of you, great. If not, well, thanks for stopping in.
Yep.
And I'm saying they're very, but I think that's a statement to what's hurting pro wrestling is like, you should listen to the fans as far as like who's over, like when Bryan Daniels was over. Hell, the New Day. Look at Kofi Kingston when he won the belt. Places were going nuts for him. They couldn't wait to take the belt off of him.
No, he wasn't supposed to be there.
Could not wait to get the belt off of him.
I mean, Sasha Banks, the exact same thing, I mean, she's been jobbed out and started and restarted. And it's like now, by the time they finally start giving her a push, it's like, all right, well, it's too late. But what was her role in Mandalorian? Did she get killed?
No, she was.
Did she live?
Yeah, she was a Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she was a group of the Mandalorians that removed their helmets.
Right. Well, if she did well and they liked her,
she has a very
along.
She had a very basic. All she had to do was just stand there, kind of role. Okay, so it's not like she did any heavy lifting with the acting. So now that being said, though, I mean, it could lead to other things for her because at the end of the day, Dave Bautista is not a great actor at all. He's very generic. But for what limited capacity he did in Guardians of the Galaxy, he did fine,
Right.
Now, again, she wasn't given a role where it required her to demonstrate any type of acting ability.
But if she's well liked on the...
But if she was well received,
on the
right,
set, she could easily lead to other potential things.
Absolutely.
Because The Rock, if you looked at The Rock's first few movies, what was it, Scorpion King or Mummy 3, and, he was in
he was in The Mummy 2.
Was it Mummy 2?
He was in the second Mummy.
Okay.
And then he was Scorpion King was where he headlined solo.
Right. I'm surprised they haven't done more like in between matches with the Undertaker. Like talking about him. It's almost like just a regular
show
here.
Now, what I was going to say earlier was talking about Undertaker and this being like his 30th anniversary. Uh, he's getting kind of a bigger, well, and obviously he's going to get a bigger send off than Ric Flair just because he's, Undertaker is a WWE product. Ric Flair was kind of already Ric Flair when he got to WWF.
Right.
Whereas Mark Calloway wasn't Undertaker until Vince McMahon made him Undertaker. So it's fun to kind of see this. But I absolutely, they with the documentary, The Last Ride, and then of course now this, celebrating his 30th anniversary of Survivor Series, and then I absolutely look for WrestleMania weekend to be all about the Undertaker. The guy's getting the red carpet treatment going out.
Right.
I just hope. I feel pretty confident he won't, but I just hope that he doesn't do like Ric Flair and retire and immediately go out and start working with whoever. Obviously I don't believe Hogan's going to be doing anything, but talk about taking all the steam out of it.
That's because Ric Flair's piss poor. Didn't know how to budget himself. I mean, he lived the gimmick, and then when the time, she missed that, but that looked rough. Ric Flair, where he lived the gimmick when he quit making the money, well, now he can't, do the stuff. But he was been bad with money. Remember Bruno Sammartino in that video talked about Flair. He would get help from the promoter, and then he'd have to pay them back, so they don't want to fire him because of he owed them so much money.
Right.
I guess honestly that's a smart thing to do, so you don't get fired.
It creates job stability because if you owe somebody, they're gonna want to get their stuff back first. But talking about like with Flair and the retirements and stuff like that. Flair is one of the few wrestlers I can remember ever having, like we talked about, a dedicated weekend of WrestleMania to him and his legacy there,
Right.
And boy, he got a beautiful send off. I mean, and, I thought about Hulk Hogan too here just the other day, and I'm thinking about everything that he's done for the sport. You know what I'm saying? Because Hogan, Hogan was one of the first wrestlers to really break out of the world of wrestling and cross over into pop culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something. But when Hogan got put into the Hall of Fame, he was just right in there with normal class. There was no big celebration of the Hulk Hogan career. But of course, I don't know.
You would have thought McMahon would have gave him a little bit more love than what they did.
But that's true. But unlike,
because Hogan did
Ric Flair never testified against Vince McMahon in a steroid trial.
Well, no, but he never testified. But if you remember, Hogan, they thought he was going to testify, and then when he went in there, he pretty much went opposite of what the federal government, from my understanding, was thinking. So he was like, McMahon never told me to take it, the steroids, or so in turn, that's what helped McMahon get out. That was what they were. Both sides were banking on Hulk Hogan. What route was he going to go?
Right.
But once again, I don't know how McMahon. I mean, he's smart because he's never bashed him. Besides, he don't bash people besides the Ultimate Warrior in public. That's
to my knowledge too.
How he does. McMahon is right on that.
The Ultimate Warrior is the only wrestler that the WWE's ever made a smear DVD set on, right?
Yes, and they were going to do the Bret Hart smear DVD, but then Bret came along and worked out a deal so he could come in and help fix the match or work the pay-per-view or DVD out.
It's funny when you look at the Ultimate Warrior DVD. when you really get down to brass tacks, who really come off looking like a dumbass in that? Him or them?
WWE.
Them, because they're telling the story. You know, McMahon said, I couldn't wait to fire him.
But you put the belt on him.
But you put the strap on him. The guy
made...
couldn't cut a promo to save his damn life.
Right.
And you put him over like gangbusters.
Right.
You know.
Now, I don't know if Ultimate Warrior should have been the WWE champion. I mean, it was fine with him being it there one time. But just the character alone. I mean, as a kid, I enjoyed Ultimate Warrior.
Sure.
You didn't need a belt on him.
No, but, you know, I also get, too, that at the time when he come along, was at a time where WWE was still listening to the fans, you know, and he was over. He was hot. And, you know, and they did right to, you know, to give him the strap there for a little bit. But I always find it interesting, though, you know, about how Hulk Hogan, you know, wanted to get that loss back, that he never had a chance to rectify that loss.
That's a turd of a rematch, too.
Yeah, it was. Well, Sasha Banks won.
Wasn't a bad match.
That was decent.
Sasha's...
They're both good workers.
Yeah, I like Asuka better.
I tell you, I will give WWE kudos in one thing.
What's that?
I think that the female talent that they have now is online and in par with the female talent that you used to see back in the day. Like when, you know, you remember every now and again they'd bring a female attraction down through to a house show or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can always remember just being like, holy crap, them women are trying to kill each other because they were so violent and rough with each other. And of course, they had to be to compete with the men on the card, you know. I will say, watching the female wrestlers now is a lot easier than it was back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, those girls had... McMahon was making women that had no business being wrestlers try to wrestle.
Yeah. Like
Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson. You know, it's like... Or who was another one? Michelle McCool.
She wasn't that good. And we want to bring Michelle McCool up since that's the Undertaker's wife.
No, there's another one that I can see her face. Who's the one that did all the smiling? Perpetually smiling. Like cheesing really hard.
All of them.
Well, anyways. But be it here or there, but it was just they were awful.
I mean, Stacy Keibler wasn't any good.
No, Stacy Keibler sucked. Sable sucked.
Yeah.
Only thing, you know, if you look back on Stacy or Sable's career and say, you know, what's her legacy she leaves behind? She leaves behind killing Mark Marrow's career.
You heard that story. Did you see that? Yeah.
Yes. Because when he took a power bomb from her, that was the end.
Good for him. He thought he was probably being nice to his wife. Help get her a little work, get her a little money.
Get her over.
They're happily married, and the next thing she's dropping him like a hot potato and picking up Brock Lesnar. I think someone crapped in her bag.
In Sable's bag?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. You have to Google it. I tell you,
what we got here? What we got here?
Gooker. Look at that nonsense. Good.
Oh, God. You know, one of my favorite little stunts they did was when Pete Rose.
Yes.
What character was that he was in?
I don't remember, but I do remember him doing his thing, yes. Who is that? I guess.
I don't know, but one thing that makes the 24/7 belt fun is segments like this. I think that this is a fun. This is not a title where you sit here and go, I want to be the 24/7 champion. But if you get into the mix, man, because it just can take place anywhere, and there's a lot of fun things you can do to set that up. I think that's what makes that belt fun,
Right.
in my opinion. Because didn't the 24/7 belt, didn't that used to be the hardcore title?
Yes.
And obviously hardcore's gone the way of the dinosaur.
Which is good. I'm
Which
glad
is
to-
good because in all honesty, they're in the late '90s, early 2000s when you had the hardcore.
But I think they did we were talking about earlier. The hardcore stuff was not good. And I mean, a lot of guys' career ended.
A lot of people's
quicker
careers
than it
changed.
should've.
Yeah, they had a much smaller career than they would have had they not been diving off rafters down onto concrete floors.
I'm shocked that Lana re-signed with WWE, considering her husband wasn't. You would have figured they would have had a discussion and been like, "Hey, I'm not re-signing." She would have been like, "Okay, I'm not going to re-sign either." Shayna Baszler should be the champion.
Yes,
she should be a dual champion.
Yeah.
All she is, she just hurts people. It seems like if someone's getting injured. So, she looks good. I think she's a legit fighter.
Right.
I think that's what I wanted to see out of Ronda Rousey, is Shayna Baszler. Rousey stunk. And people could try to sell, she had the greatest WrestleMania moment. And no, it was forgettable. It was. And then you had the finale when Becky Lynch, who they didn't want there, pins her.
Show.
She pins her, but Ronda has her shoulder up. So was it planned for her to have her shoulder up? They should have at least brought her back for one match to following. Now, she was a former Marine. See, we had up to 3 viewers. You see that?
Yeah. Should take our shirts off and sit here and
just pull them up a little bit.
Shimmied.
You just pull them up a little bit.
This is what you're here to see, isn't it? I'll flash the top. You just turn around and move the camera and go a little TNA.
Yeah. And see the retribution, which is I have no clue what they're. From my understanding, they were getting over like gangbusters, and then all of a sudden they signed a contract with them. They signed them to a contract. I mean it, and everyone started questioning like why would you sign them to a contract for trying to beat everybody up in your company? And
it makes no sense. Were they legitimately attacking people?
No. Well, I mean, as a gimmick, they were showing up, jumping the rails. Mm-hmm.
Lana doesn't belong here. And Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler done everything humanly possible to get Lana to quit. And if you saw the WWE Chronicle on the WWE Network about Lana that came out yesterday, you'll understand how difficult that is to do for a person like Lana. WWE Survivor Series.
Okay. Let's see this real quick.
She's a role model. She was the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion in history. I don't want any other.
Oh, look at us looking at her. I just wanted to check out the
YouTube feed.
yes. Let's see, go back.
That worked out well for Raw. Then it'll work out for Bayley or something. With Bayley's big captain.
Okay, we're live there.
I love everything about the ESP of WWE. She had a big premiere, so to speak, last year at Survivor Series here at WWE.
We're live there.
Bianca represents the blue brand.
Okay, we're live. And finally.
This is going to be a difficult outing for Team Raw with Belair and Bayley. Here's another reason why. The Riot Squad.
Okay.
This is an emotional weekend for the entirety of the Riot Squad. Yesterday was 11/21.
Oh, hello for joining. Thank you for joining us. Please click the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We're trying to get subscribers. We're on the three here: Potato Shop Podcast, Maximum Libertarian, and Owensflix. Please give us a
Now, go to Owensflix if you like watching people drive over rocks.
And then you got military
real slow.
Military videos. You got different bands. You go over there, check it out.
All your bootleg needs.
Yeah, all your
You'll be
bootleg
mad
needs.
over there on Owensflix.
So, please give us all a like. We would appreciate it. And follow us on Twitter as you see the scrolling ticker.
Check out Potato Shop Podcast. We talk about pop culture, MMA, and we have no viewers now. We ran whoever it was off. I guess we started doing this. Let me get back to carrying. Hey, welcome to Potato Shop Podcast. Go fuck yourself.
Well,
put that in your comment. How about that one?
Well, we can attack them.
Oh, so you want to tune in now? No, ain't nobody there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know who this. And see, sometimes they'll comment and you can bring it up.
Hey, welcome to Potato Shop Podcast. We're watching the female wrestling. This is typically when we would take a break and go get something to drink. If you smoke, step outside and smoke. Anyways. But we're here tonight to celebrate the Undertaker 30 years. Who would you say is one of your more memorable Undertaker rivalries?
Probably it would have to be Mankind. That match with him, and they had been the second Hell in a Cell, because I didn't think they would have been able to top the Shawn Michaels Hell in a Cell with Undertaker.
Oh, sure.
And my God, they came out and did it. It was amazing. Well, it was amazing because they were killing each other.
Yeah, it was. I would agree with you. I would say
if Mick Foley said, "Hey, I'm going to do this spot where I'm going to get thrown off the top of the cage." I wonder if he said that or if it was just like, "All right, this is what we're going to do."
Yeah.
You would have to imagine they would have told the announcers so they don't have something hard or sharp up there. I would imagine, but.
Well, it's hard to say.
I just can't imagine what that felt. Because, that like when Shane did it, it
Yeah, because
looked
it's one of those things.
staged.
Like
He was prepped.
it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you ever jumped off of something and you didn't think it was going to be as high as it was,
Yeah,
and you
and it's a
fell,
jar.
yeah, and you fell for a whole lot longer than you expected. And the thing about it was, too, man, was he came down and landed on his back.
Yeah.
That's coming in hot. But that's probably
And
that you're right. There's never been a Hell in a Cell that ever matched that one there. That
No.
was as good as it was ever going to be, because everything they did post that match was simply,
so they would, if they would try to do something where it looked dangerous,
it was all staged.
you could blatantly, like Rikishi falling off into the truck of sawdust,
Right.
or Shane McMahon jumping off, not aiming for, just besides aiming for the table, he had no move in mind when he was just going to land flat back on the Undertaker, I guess.
Which, could be a finisher all in of itself.
Well, yes, it would have been a finisher, and I would have hoped they would have had him get pinned.
Oh, that looked good.
Mm. Looks like,
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, though, female wrestling has come so far.
oh yeah,
You've actually got women in here now that can actually bring it. You know what I'm saying? And are really talented. And
almost all the ladies in here.
yeah, just about every one of them are good.
I mean, a couple of them are not as, lack a little bit. Okay,
but it's not like watching Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson back in the
No.
day, man. Those girls were jokes. And then you had,
but then you would have a really good one like Trish and Mickey James and Victoria.
yes, right. But Trish Stratus and Mickey James, those girls were well ahead of their time. I mean, they were years before any of these girls come along. So they really didn't have anybody other than themselves wrestling. You can talk about Lita, but really Lita was just doing a Jeff Hardy.
She was still good. So
she was better than some of the others, but she was sloppy. You know what I'm saying? She didn't always look very good as far as her work looked sloppy, in my opinion.
Is she holding her own or just delaying the inevitable? A long ways to go in this matchup. No one has been eliminated yet.
Oof.
Yeah, it's. I don't know.
Confidence it might expire in Jackson Baszler and company. Did score an elimination tag. Hey, nobody wants the tag. Lana. Okay, this is ridiculous. You got to get on the same page, guys. Come on.
They ought to have somebody run over and small package her.
Yeah. Seems awkward. It's just.
How do you like Bailey's mom haircut?
It looks good.
She just looks like somebody got out of a minivan and was like, "Hey, you feel like being in the ring tonight?"
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
And her pants look terrific, you know. Now she has the old tiny boots, so it looks like she got, what's it called, culottes or whatever.
Yeah. Now, what about if they try to do an Undertaker gimmick with a female?
No. Go on, shoot that one down real quick.
Would you have her go over on men?
No, that was the dumbest thing. TNA was an idiot for allowing Tessa Blanchard, no matter how good she was, to be pinning all their wrestlers. Brian Cage, Sammy Callahan. And then she just gave up the belt.
So nobody beat her for the belt.
No. No.
She got out of it undefeated.
She just left. She mailed them the belt. And that was the end
So
of
where
it.
is she now?
Well, there was rumors that she was going to be showing up here in WWE and AEW. You know, Tully's over in AEW,
Right.
managing. So there was talk of her being over there.
You know, that's funny you bring that up because you got him over there in AEW, you got Arn over in AEW, you've got the Rhodes boys over in AEW.
And you know what? The AA has applied for the Full Horseman trademark.
Has he really?
Yeah. Because, you know, Cody was going through, and, like, whenever, like, War Games would come up, or War Games, I don't think it, but, like, the match beyond, he got the
Copyright
trademark. Then he did the trademark on a, like, Bash at the Beach.
Really?
Yeah, and they had a Bash at the Beach while ago on AEW. So then, you know, he was trying to get he was trying for Bunkhouse Stampede, and
that'd be awesome.
He was trying for another one. Well, then I guess it came up that he wasn't going to like, they gave him back Cody Rhodes, so he can now be Cody Rhodes again. And Cody gave up, like, the match beyond. He like dropped his thing, you know.
They negotiated. They reached an agreement.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a good idea, but I know the guy who helped him has helped a lot of these other wrestlers, and in turn,
now here's what you enjoy.
Yeah, everyone climbing.
Everybody's
to the road,
going to climb up, but everybody's going to be standing right there. Nobody's going to move.
Now, see, if you look at the fans, that's the problem that you got. Look at that one guy. You know, it looks weird, them being on screen. You know what they ought to do is have her count. They have them all counted out now. I'm just going to end this match, and then Lana wins because she's not counted out.
Count of 6. You're doing great, Lana. This applies to Royce and Bailey to beat the 10 count or be eliminated since they are the leading competitor. Now back inside the ring, Peyton Royce. Oh, hitting deja vu. Here's the cover on Bailey.
Oh, good.
Some sort of explanation. That's our captain. The captain.
Here we go. Another one.
All right, so Bailey's gone.
Yeah.
And now Natty Neidhart and Peyton.
Sounds like a beer. Give me a Natty Neidhart.
Yeah. Have you seen Camille from old Nick Aldis's manager? She was in a fitness contest. She got all jacked up, and then she dehydrated herself. I think she might have won. But her and the other guy, Tom Latimer, they're now married or getting engaged. So that's always nice.
You know, at the rate we're going, Nick Aldis is going to be the longest reigning NWA champion. I wonder what the record is. I've never searched, longest reign for NWA champion, but hell, he's been champion now. What, 3-4 years?
A couple years at least.
Yeah.
Let's look it up.
Don't get me wrong, man. That's not a bad thing because Nick Aldis is a really good champion, and I really like him as champion. So I'm not saying that as a dig, but it's just like, obviously with no we got a submission there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like him as a NWA champion. Now, Brody King, piece of trash. Just want to throw that out there. If I read on the internet Brody King got run over by a car, I can't say I would be
that's
upset.
Ric Flair. Well, it's got a list of champions, but there's so many NWA champions.
Right.
It's kind of.
Oh man, Natty got dropped.
He's at 761 right now. And
well, I guess he did lose it to Cody briefly.
He did.
And then won it back.
And they tried to get him to come to NW or AEW. And he felt, he was just like, look, I like the NWA. I like the idea. He is up. Let's see. Ric Flair had a reign for 793. That was his fourth reign. So you got a Harley Race who was 926.
Harley Race may have only held it.
Dory Funk, Gene Kaninsky, both 1,563, 1,131.
Wow.
Lou Thesz had a long one in the thousands. And then you had a Pat O'Connor with 903. So he's up. Well, let's see. Another Lou Thesz was a 1,094. He held it a total of 2,300 days. So.
Well, now, how many years did Bruno hold the WWE title for?
Like 7?
Something like that, yeah. You just don't see long title reigns anymore. You know what I'm saying?
No, you don't. But I think
now,
let's see, 761. Okay.
If we base title reigns off of, say, UFC, there's a mix, because you have some guys that win the title and they make a few successful defenses, and they may hold it for year, depending on the frequency of how quick they fight.
Right.
A couple of years, maybe. Depending, like I said. But then you have guys, come in there, man. If you remember with the light heavyweight title, man, it was like a guy would win it, only turn around and drop it the next pay-per-view because, next time the title was defended because that was just how much talent was in the light heavyweight division.
You can make an argument to have these quick title reigns,
Right, but I also think you can make the argument of having a long reigning.
You should always have like a John Jones, a Harley Race, Nick Aldis, someone who holds it, and when they finally do lose, it's going to be something special.
Right.
But you don't want every champion to be, 4 years.
No, but I mean, like I said, there's something for keeping some surprise there. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you remember, man, when Sid was back in the WWE,
right.
Bret Hart would win the title on the pay-per-view on Sunday and then turn around and Monday night he's he's looking at the lights, giving up the title to Sid Vicious. It was a quick turnaround. And there's something to be said for that. I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is it's a balancing act. It's
Right.
So
the only thing on SmackDown is Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, right?
I think so. Look at there. We got ourselves a pin.
That's like Roddy Piper right there. Remember? Oh.
She's out.
So who from Raw's lost?
That one girl that beat what's her name? Bailey. She's the only one that's been eliminated.
Oh, I didn't even know she was still there. Now I think she's one of the Street Profits. Why? I don't know which one.
Okay.
But the Bianca belt, the one on the apron, obviously. Oof.
I would imagine something's going to play out where Lana's going to be the last person standing. They're going to forget she's still there.
I think she's going to screw.
Oh, yeah.
Nikki or Nia Jax.
Yes.
She's somehow going to.
Nia Jax has put her to the table, what, 9 times?
Something like that.
That's what they were showing there, yeah. But now, these girls that are wrestling now, man, definitely are very talented, and they're able to sell, and that's the big thing. I think that was the problem. The girls from back in the day just could not sell to save their life.
Right. So we got this match. We got the men's Raw match. No, that took place already, I think. Should be just a heavyweight championship match after this. Reigns and McIntyre.
Right. You already had the men. They lost. The Raw men lost.
Boy, she is. Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Good.
I was just sitting here thinking to myself, and I thought, boy, they ought to turn Nia Jax into a high flyer. And then, of course, that made me think about Ric Flair and about how Jim Herd wanted to turn him into the Gladiator.
Right.
And wasn't Jim Herd a Pizza Hut executive?
I think so. And he worked for a television station. That's how he got put on
Yep, out she goes.
This is where Baszler gets pinned. I like Baszler because I think the way she wears her makeup, it looks like she's been in a steam room, so her makeup looks all, dark around her eyes. She just looks like a. Then she wears the mouthpiece. Oof.
This might be it.
Oh yeah. See, look how smart she just looks. So good with her moves. Like, see, that's a legit move. Can end. It'd be nice for them to start teaching the wrestlers like the basic stuff, like turn your head and tuck your chin or whatever. You know.
Well, now one thing that won't change, that was even this way back when we were still believers, if you will, was the fighting out of it. You know what I'm saying? The reality is, if she really had that locked on, 3 to 5 seconds, she's out. There is no struggling to get to the ropes unless it's just not put on there right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's not going to be anything different. I mean, Johnny Weaver used to be the classic.
Nothing's greater than the old days. Smacking you on the back of the neck, get the blood flowing back to the brain.
DQ.
Okay.
Because he counted to 5. She wouldn't let go.
Okay.
All right, here's where you're talking about Nia Jax.
She's going to get screwed. Lana's going to come over there take the limp carcass of Bianca, of course. Show something, man. Like, you just came out of. So Lana won because she's standing on the gate. She's the lone survivor.
That's it. That's it.
You said it.
Yeah.
She said, I won. See the guy?
I got to be honest with you. If I was going to cast, the big thing is going through these days and taking characters and traditional male characters and casting them as females. And if I was going to cast a female Popeye, I would have Nia Jax play Bluto.
Yeah. Seeing how long it's been going, it's an hour and 19 minutes.
Guys, looks like we've had a couple of questions. Has the Undertaker came yet?
Oh, why didn't someone say
no,
something?
We didn't.
Haven't
seen the Undertaker yet.
Polish guy. If we see that ever come up, because you can touch it right there, and it'll bring it right up. So, Polish guy. No. Adolfo. No. So if you see a question come up,
sure,
let us know. Here we were just. Well, now we're going to have to sit back.
Good morning. Let's talk about the weather.
See, this is like TLC. TLC right here is like Hell in the Cell. It's not. You take a gimmick match. That should be just one match.
Right, not a pay-per-view.
Right.
Hey, I tell you, speaking of AC/DC, guys, if you haven't checked out their new album, Power Up, absolutely do it. If you're an AC/DC fan, top to bottom, good stuff. Very good.
Samoa Joe's such.
Has he transitioned now to full-time commentary?
It seems like he's doing more commentary than he is. All right, so this is the main event.
Yeah, so, all I want to say about that is I know, for years, I've always, if you're not wrestling like these guys are getting ready to do, then your quality of life as a employee of the WWE's got to be poor. If you're a wrestler, that is. But the reality is, you had, John JBL. He did a lot of stuff behind the scenes that just, we didn't see. And so, I mean, he got to do a lot of fun stuff and didn't have the physical elements of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
right,
he was well taken care of, obviously, because had he not been, he wouldn't have been with the company. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the other thing. Samoa Joe may like doing the commentator. Look at Jerry Lawler. I mean, Jerry Lawler obviously was the biggest thing out of Memphis wrestling. And he comes to WWE, and next thing you know, he's an announcer with Jim Ross, and he's probably one of the best teams ever for announcing,
They were up there with Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's my favorite team, like his characters.
Now, when you get into solo commentary, I mean, there's been a lot of greats through the years, but Gordon Soley.
Yeah, Joey Styles. Even Lance Russell. Tony
Schiavone.
Tony was always been with a team if it's David Crockett, Jim Ross, or whomever.
Sure.
But I always remember, Joey.
Schiavone and Bobby Heenan were not a bad duo.
No, they were very good. Bobby Heenan was good
on the mic with anybody.
Right. So you're joining us. I know you're probably wondering what's going on. They're getting ready to have the heavyweight championship. The two McIntyre taking on Roman Reigns. Undertaker hasn't come out yet. So that's what's going on right now during the preview phase. Having what's it called? It's not a trailer, but a vignette showing the build up to this event or to this match right now. So Undertaker, I guess, will be out. I assume after this. I'll be interested in what's going to happen when Brock Lesnar shows back up. How are they going to play the Paul Heyman?
So where's Brock at right now?
At home. That's from what they said. Well, while we're sitting here, do you have any question? If you're watching us, type in a question. We'll bring it up on the screen. You're more than welcome to do that. Or we'll sit here and ignore you like we did the other two questions. And when they log off, we'll answer it.
We'll scream our response at the screen.
Hey! Thanks for watching. Wreck everyone and leave. Oh, they left. We ought to attack the next person that comes in.
No.
Come on! This is what you want to see?
Hey, speaking of which, I watched a...
that fat man looks terrific.
I agree. We need to rent that.
Yeah, I was telling Ben, I said, man, I'm going to get it. I was going to find out whenever you
gonna
want to
buy it?
watch it. Don't buy it. I'll rent it.
What are you looking like for Wednesday?
I'm only going to be working Oasis after that.
All right, let's do it Wednesday.
All right, I'll say something to Ben. Hey, everybody! If you're,
Hey
I know
guys, if you're just joining us, we got Roman Reigns heading to the ring right now, getting ready to have the main event between him and Drew McIntyre.
Undertaker has not come out yet.
Undertaker will be next. I tell you, it's I really enjoy Roman Reigns as a heel. I enjoy the fact that they've put him with Paul Heyman. I think that Paul Heyman, his mic work is going to take Roman Reigns' mic work up. He can't do anything but get better
Right.
being around Paul Heyman.
This is what Roman Reigns should have been doing 5 years ago.
Right.
When he was getting booed out of the building.
Right. I just wish we were in a different time where we could have live crowd, because I think that there's something to be said when you have a live audience. Because when they turned The Rock bad, and The Rock would go through his his little string of catchphrases, and then he would address the crowd when they tried to sing along with him. I always enjoyed that.
I don't know how they'll win this match. But once again, I like Roman Reigns so much. I like him better than Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I like how he's got like a silver glove on. Just that one hand. Or is that gold?
We know Reigns will go the extra mile. So I ask you, does Drew McIntyre have it in him? Without question, I guarantee will be able to.
So, walkout songs for pro wrestling, not so much UFC or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I feel any of the walkout songs anymore.
No.
I can't say that any of them really do anything for
But
me.
it's few and far between now. Where it used to be, they used to have a lot of good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but one, I think it was just a riff.
Right.
So, Stone Cold's was very easy to hum. Razor Ramon, easy to hum. Or, make the noises for NWO, things of that nature. But now you have these lyrics and...
Now, when you say make the noises for, were you meaning like beatboxing it?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, it would be fun to see.
He had to swallow that sword.
Yeah, light it on fire. Whoop, bring it back out.
That'd be real impressive.
That's when you show people you mean business, and then bitch the whole match about heartburn. And have that be the reason he loses. His heartburn overcomes him to where he's not paying attention to his he's not paying attention to his opponent, and his opponent small packages him while he's trying to get his heartburn under control.
You know, when people come up, we gotta say that Undertaker's already wrestled. He's came out and
They'll start watching it with us.
Sting came out and rolled Undertaker up for a 2 count, but then Undertaker did the pile driver and pinned Sting. It was an awesome match. You gotta check it out. Go on YouTube, find it somewhere else, not here. Get lost. You know, you just figure Drew McIntyre is part of a 3-man band.
Look at there, Owensflix.
Yeah,
is my top feed, and not Potato Shot.
I wonder why.
No.
Well, what we'll be able to do is go in after these process, and we'll be able to look at the analytics.
Okay.
And then once, hey everybody, thank you for coming on. Right now, the match is about to take place. It's Drew McIntyre taking on Roman Reigns. Undertaker has not come out yet, so if you're looking for that, he hasn't made it out to the ring.
Yeah. Hasn't come out yet. Don't really know what to expect from this match. Both good workers. You know, we'll see. Oh, they're gone as quick as they came in. And out.
Kiss my ass. Get out. That's what we're going to start saying. That'll make them stay. We're going to be telling them.
Oh, they'll start flaming us on the.
That's okay.
Comment.
At least they comment, then it'll help us out. Because for all you know, they're going to be flaming Owensflix. They're watching us.
I came on here to watch people drive over rocks.
Hey, why aren't you parroting a show that's $9.99? You know the best one when they went nose to nose and no one ever talks about is when Road Dogg pulled Devon in and gave him a kiss on the lips. That was one of the coolest moments. Tough guys. And no one ever talks about that scene.
No.
I've even
Devon got to laughing.
Yeah.
Have you looked it up?
I've tried to, and it's not there. It's like no one, it's just been ignored. You know? But that was just one of them great scenes where that was like making each, because one of them wrestlers talked about they would get into the ring and they would try to make each other laugh or something. But McIntyre left WWE, looks good. I mean, jacked up.
Yeah.
And now Heath Slater's going to try to do the same thing. Because you got to figure all three-man band left, came back and won the belt. Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre.
Jinder Mahal, man, talk about somebody being he is absolutely ripped. That guy's, good Lord,
I guess
man.
He's injured still, but
he must be. But man, he was talking about looking good. He was over. Like some of the workout videos and stuff that I watched, man, they were showing him like his workouts and stuff, man. It's, here's a guy, man, that was just like, holy crap. The
fans really hate it. There was a lot
of Celtic Warrior. Sheamus does a lot of workout videos, and he has different people come on.
I've watched some of them. Like he said, AJ, everybody. He said everybody.
Yeah, John Cena's been on there. I like that. But see, I like that because it shows these guys and how they prep to get to looking like what they do. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, I know you're big in talking about the nutritional side of things, but that would be an interesting thing to talk about. Is like for the life of a guy like Roman Reigns, okay? Obviously, most gyms are going to probably accommodate them and let them come in and work out as kind of a complimentary thing, or let them kind of have a day pass or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, then again, they could have a membership to Gold's where they can go anywhere in the continental United States and go to any Gold's gym. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Be it here or there, though. But like when you're on the road, how does a guy, what kind of nutrition do they keep up with out on the road? You know what I'm saying? Because that's always been one of the fascinating things about a pro wrestler is, these guys look like Greek Adonis gods, and yet they're constantly living out of a suitcase.
Right. You've heard, what's his name? Scott Hall made comments about him. Talking about like, sometimes you'd always go to like Waffle House was one of the spots because what you can like get stuff there, and it might not be the best, but you could work stuff around it, because they have like the little paper thin steaks and eggs or different things of that nature.
But yeah, I mean, when you really start thinking about it, a guy like that, I mean, they've got to work it. They got to get a workout in.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to. I mean, I guess they don't have to focus on their nutrition, but I mean, I would imagine most of those guys do some type of nutrition. I mean, because
Right.
the reality is you can't get to be lean and cut like Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre like they are, and not have some kind of nutrition. Now, of course, obviously, some people are like, oh, it's steroids and this and the other. But, I mean, I'm not saying that there's not steroids around, but we live in a different time now, man. There's a lot of focus on that stuff and, drug policies by different companies and, to include WWE and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of this stuff is monitored, and they watch for that stuff.
I wonder how much WWE allows them to in their drug.
Like, what's the threshold?
Like, can they do testosterone replacement?
TRT.
Yeah, because
why not?
Because the older they get, the more the testosterone will help them heal and be able to train and keep the energy
Absolutely. Well, why not? Because it's not legitimate contest here. So if Roman Reigns does testosterone therapy, replacement therapy, TRT, well, that's fine. All that's going to do is be good for WWE business because that means he's going to be able to go in there, man, and continue performing at a level that he may not have been. Now, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, when you look at Vitor Belfort and how he was performing when he was doing TRT versus how he was after TRT, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I would definitely discourage these guys from doing straight out steroids because the effects that can have on you just as a whole.
Well, I mean, if you listen to the guy from West Side Barbell, I mean, there's a lot of people that do steroids. Not that I would advocate it by any chance, but, he talks about it. He said, if done right, who wasn't?
Jeff Monson said that, he didn't see a problem with doing a cycle of steroids and, cycling off of it and stuff like that. But, even like testosterone boosters and stuff like that, you're supposed to cycle off of it.
Right. Now, what happens is it damages your inside. So if you're not,
well, look at Eddie Guerrero.
If you don't need testosterone, now all of a sudden you're not producing it because you've been supplementing yourself. I have, once again, like you said,
that's a good chop.
This isn't a legit contest. So in turn, it don't really bother me as much as a UFC fighter. But I would just keep it stuff so just so doctors can watch stuff. I think it's good. I know it's not good for the wrestlers, but having the more time off gives their body a chance to heal. So that's a
talking about like with AEW's business model.
Yeah, I'm not real crazy about just one show a week. It seems like this is such a sport that you got it. Like MMA, you go into a gym and you train the moves to choke someone out or to make them submit or whatever. With this, you're trying to learn. It's like a stand-up comedian. They go up on stage and they have to work their bit out.
Right.
To make a good-looking match.
It's definitely going to
sell it.
Right. It's going to create a much larger learning curve for guys that are just getting into the business and stuff.
Right.
Than guys that can go out here, man, and get the reps in, like you said.
Right.
Speaking of which, I was going to talk about this earlier. I was watching on YouTube. I saw a video. Looked like it was Mid-South, maybe, I think. But Rick Steiner was a jobber, and I can't remember what his first name was, but his last name was Rick Steiner, and he was in black trunks, very plain looking, but he took on Jake the Snake Roberts. And what was interesting about it, or at least I found interesting about it, it's the same adage we've talked about before. Here it was, you had a jobber that was looked and appeared to be in better shape than the superstar he was going to wrestle. Because Jake Snake just looked like some dude out of the audience. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. Jake Snake's never had muscle tone or, had any kind of muscle build to him. He's always just had the dad bod. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And and it was funny because you watch Rick Steiner, and I mean, like I said, he was as big, every bit as big then as he was when he became, actual Rick Steiner. But there was nothing about what he was doing. He wasn't doing his little, all that stuff, and he didn't have any of his look that was, kind of a signature Rick Steiner look kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So he looked like a complete jobber.
Well, I mean, they have that one Mid-South where it was Double A, and he was
he went under another name.
Well, he went under his real name, Marty Loudon, or
yeah, okay, yeah.
That that's his real name. So, but that's good. That's what you need with these guys. You let them come in. It's not Cody.
Look at that, man. That looks good.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes comes in.
This has been a good match.
It has been. Well, them are two good workers.
Yeah, but I mean, the striking in this has looked really good. I mean, those short range elbows right there that Roman Reigns just threw, those look good, man.
I mean, honestly, I honestly believe that there only should be one champion.
And I'm telling you, man,
I don't like having two champions because right here, this sucks because
make him the undisputed champ.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, this is the best thing that's ever happened to Roman Reigns was him going heel.
Yeah.
He's got a whole different vibe to him right now. You know what I'm saying? With the way he's carrying himself and everything.
Well, I mean, him doing that, the chief or the high chief.
Yeah. But this is what he should have been doing all along.
Yeah.
It's good. I gotta be honest. I mean, it's been a minute since I've watched a Roman Reigns match. I've always enjoyed Roman Reigns, but I forgot how good he is. That he's good at selling. He's good at, you know what I'm saying? He's a good worker.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's actually nice to come back in and see. And Drew McIntyre's excellent,
But he went out there on the circuit, went to TNA and all the other little spots. I think he went over to Ring of Honor and got his stuff down tight. He bulked up a tad. Comes back, he looks great.
That's why they need jobbers back.
Yeah.
Honest to God, they need jobbers back because
they also need to cut the shows down. That's why I like the NWA. I even like Ring of Honor so much is because it's 1 hour, and I don't feel like I'm sacrificing my entire night. When you watch Monday Night Raw, it's 3 hours.
Sure. Well, but the reason I say you need jobbers back is because people don't understand when you were a jobber, that's how you learn how to sell. The offense. If you get the right guy that can sell for you, offense is a no-brainer. Because the guy selling for you is going to make you look like $1 million. That's why Ric Flair was considered one of the best. So he can make anybody look good. But it's selling. It's being able to sell for your partner in the ring, the guy that you're wrestling. And the way you learn that is you get in there and you have to get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Your character has to be beat up. Problem is, you don't want to have a Drew McIntyre and say, all right, this is your character. Now, for the next 3 years, all you're going to do is look at the lights.
Right.
And then, at the end of that 3 years, go, all right, Drew, now we're going to push you. Because it's like Heath Slater. Nobody's going to believe Heath Slater's a kicking ass and taking names kind of guy now.
But he can come. He does have the ability now, if he could possibly go out.
He's been out, but you know what I'm saying?
Change up.
Yeah.
Look, Jinder Mahal came back, looks terrific. Became champion. He did the same way with Mac there. But I think that's what I think in the end. I think you need the jobbers to help sell. What happened was he got jobbed out. Heath
Right.
Slater.
Right.
I don't ever remember Jinder Mahal. I know they were 3-man band and stuff like that, but
yeah,
maybe
he was part of that crew. But my point being is that, you know, if Drew McIntyre was whatever gimmick, bring the face paint back, bring the masks back, make it so these guys come out and, you know, you don't recognize them so much. You know what I'm saying?
especially the mask. I mean, I would like to see more masked wrestlers come back, like a masked superstar, not.
But now the only
A
masked
luchador.
wrestlers, right, are the luchadors.
Right.
You know, I think you still have some Japanese wrestlers that'll wear the masks, but
Right. Mm-hmm.
you know, name the last American masked wrestler.
Right.
You know, I can't think of one in recent years.
That was worth anything? No.
Well, I'm sorry, I changed that back. That guy over in AEW, the lizard guy.
Oh,
Whatever
Luchasaurus.
Yeah, Luchasaurus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Randy Orton comes out and will get that RKO on McIntyre because he just won the belt this past Monday. McIntyre did.
Right.
That's when I'm going to predict that's how it's going to end.
Well, let's see. How long do you think they'll give the Undertaker here at the end of the card?
Well, they've got
We're
20
getting
minutes.
Yeah, we got 20 minutes to fill it in. So you think they're going to give him 10?
15. Because he'll come shuffling his feet out. And then he'll have to kiss his wife, and all the wrestlers will come out that are there to see him. And I'm going to go on and predict that Sting's going to show. I still have his gut.
You think it's going to be him and Sting at the end?
Yeah.
At WrestleMania?
I don't know why.
That saddens me. And the reason I say that saddens me is because know that the only reason Sting's coming in, and not that there's any chance of that, but the only reason he's coming in is to look at the lights.
99.5%. So it's a 0.5% chance I believe Sting's going to show up. That's it. And then his little bald spot's going to be exposed. That's probably on Piper's podcast when that guy was making fun of Sting and how he came out with his mask or the makeup halfway down his forehead, the bald spot, and they were talking about how they had the people in the back that does the hairdressing. You think it could have helped with Sting, but.
Now's not the time to lose your heart. Now's the time to secure victory. And that's what Drew McIntyre needs to do right now. He needs to remain focused. He is trying to will Roman back in this. Drew now slinking into the bottom rope, waiting for Reigns to rise to deliver a claymore.
You think he misses? Superman punch. Now, are there any referees that you miss? Because referees throughout the years have played kind of an integral
Pee-wee
part.
Anderson, and I like Tommy Young, and I like the WCW guys. But now I don't think it seems like maybe they do. Since I don't really watch it like I used to. You know, we'd always know Earl Hebner. I can't remember the guy with the black beard. Remember in WWE used to hang around with Andre Giant.
Yes.
I can't remember what his name was, but
It's Tim something, wasn't it?
yes, So you would have them guys, but since I don't really watch wrestling, I don't have any. They don't hold any near and dear to my heart.
Oh. And now he's near the ropes. He's near the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. This has been a pretty good match.
Yeah. See, this is where you want the time limit. Like Jim Ross says, it gives you a way that no one has to lose. They run out of time. That's how you should end this match.
The problem is, though, and that's all fine and dandy, but they would go to that well so much. They would drive it into the fucking ground.
Well, they would go to the well probably too much, like the Dusty finish. But you have
Because
that
that's what-
option. Is that your shine?
That sounded like it.
She shine.
Happy. So do you like the fact that they're pumping the chairs and stuff in?
No.
That at least for us sitting here watching gives it some depth.
You're right. It's almost like the fans getting the pumping in the chair at the football games,
right?
Because they said what they're trying to do is hide the play. Otherwise they'd just be hearing the quarterback. They're talking to each other and the players. So at least it tries to give them a little bit of something.
Spear. I miss like the strap matches. Like when they'd be connected to a strap together.
Dog collar match, right?
Dog collar match was fun. Yeah. But I also can appreciate, especially with the dog collar match, how limited that match is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just.
Oh yeah.
But little novelty matches like that, man, used to be, especially the strap matches, man. But of course, it never made sense. It's like, so in order to win the strap match, you had to touch each corner. And that always added to it because it got me sitting there, almost there, almost there.
Right.
They didn't
I
make
mean,
it.
it was usually they would just bump into each other and one guy'd fall into it.
Yeah.
Remember who? I can't remember who it was, but they were carrying the individual around on their shoulders. And as that guy would touch the corner, the other guy on the shoulders would touch a corner.
There goes the ref.
Here comes Randy Orton.
Oh, no, no, no. This might be it. Choked him out.
Okay. Wow, that was a good match.
That was good.
So now we'll get to see Undertaker. I wonder if he's going to talk Dead Man or is he going to talk?
Mark Calloway. That was a good match.
It was.
Overall, yeah, very happy with that one. You just said it's very rare that the main event lives up to its hype. In the world of pro wrestling, that should never be the case. That should be the exception, not the rule.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the back in the day. That was one of the things when they talked about buying a pay per view. When you talk about buying a wrestling pay per view over a boxing pay per view, at least you knew if you were buying a pay per view that was supposed to be 3 hours long with wrestling, you were going to get 3 hours worth of entertainment.
Because if you like UFC, remember how it used to be? We had to get them pay per views when, especially when it first started getting them. You'd have like quick knockouts, first round victories.
Yeah.
Then they were having to put in all the fillers from matches earlier.
There's one superstar where one session is never enough. The death bell is ringing. It's time for one more round with the phenom, the legend, the Undertaker. 30 years of stories. That was not supposed to happen. 30 years of history, personally and professionally. How did that affect you? We're going to get into it all. Looking back, what is your legacy? Don't miss a special edition of the Broken Skull Sessions with the Undertaker. And that's the bottom line. Rest in peace.
Something about when he was up there and he was about to do that choke slam, he backed up. He backed up because he started hearing things popping.
Undertaker did?
Yeah, and that's why he was standing on that bar when he threw Mankind down, and Mankind went down through it. He had stood over on the other side or on that bar.
Here we go.
This is the Undertaker's final farewell. Please welcome those who are here to pay homage
Here we go.
to the Phenom.
All right.
Undertaker's getting ready to make his farewell walk. They're bringing out people now that are here to say their goodbyes, if you will.
I liked Flair and how Triple H came out. I was like, hey, there's a whole bunch of other people that want to say goodbye too. You remember he started introducing everybody. That's how, obviously, you don't want to just copy it, but
He is the world's largest athlete, the Big Show. You know, the Undertaker's a great opponent in Survivor Series back in 2008, Corey.
he got in tremendous shape.
Yes. He looks great. Is he still an active wrestler or no?
No. I think he'll come out on occasion.
JBL. Boy, I miss his entrances. How could the Undertaker say? How could he say that? I thought Eddie Guerrero was his greatest rival.
Eddie Guerrero was his greatest rival because Eddie Guerrero made him look like $1 million. Because I remember being so excited with him and Batista. Batista just came off his match with Triple H.
You put him over like
$1
million.
Yeah. So then you think, oh my gosh, we're going to have a tremendous. It's going to be tremendous, and then it's like, no, it's not.
Oh, he's got his face painted like the Undertaker. That looks good.
That guy right there has his it factor.
Yes.
No matter what happens.
Nice.
Mick Foley.
Arguably, the Undertaker's greatest match was against that man right there. That Hell in a Cell's second to none.
It's so memorable, you know.
That's the match that they will talk about for years to come.
Right. That match, because of the dangerous stuff he did.
But watching Mick Foley right there and how limited his walking and all that seems, he's the reason why you don't come up with the Godfather.
With the Undertaker, but something that a lot of people don't know, Corey, is a long-time friendship between these two men. Long before WWE even came into either of their lives, two true great.
Now, I've watched some videos of him talking about Godfather.
Yeah.
I think he's a legit tough guy.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think he's a man to be trifled with behind the scenes.
I wonder which wrestlers are, because there's a lot of them that they might get sold as a tough guy,
right?
But then there's some. I just always remember reading the book Arn Anderson. And he talked about Pee Wee.
Oh, look here.
Was also known as Mitty, who was part of the Ministry of Darkness with the Undertaker back in the day. But again, the Godwins, real-life friends of the Undertaker. In fact, a lot of the people
Yeah.
part of that very infamous backstage group known as BSK, Bone Street Crew.
Wait.
Savio Vega. It's always fun to watch a walk through memory lane like this. You know it?
Yeah.
Kishi.
Oh, that's his boys, Wusos.
That's right. Oh, Kevin Nash. See if he's dyed his hair for the event or if he's coming out gray.
Well, they'll probably be fine with him being gray right now since he's just here. Because all the, look at Hog and Pig who just came out.
Yeah.
Hog or the Pig was bald headed and
yeah, there's old big sexy
old knees. That really helped. I mean, you look at that. Was it Twitter or Instagram where it showed his old knobby knees and then it getting fixed? Remember they were.
Oh yeah.
I mean, looked horrible.
It always makes me nervous watching Kevin Nash walk down the aisle because I'm just waiting for his leg to blow out. Booker T. Booker T looks like he's kind of like reminds me of a little bit of like Ricky Steamboat. Even now, Booker T looks like he could go in there and go get it on.
Yeah,
like he could get in there and still be a very active wrestler.
And he looks better than Ricky because he's still got all his. Now he might be dyeing his hair and stuff, but
he's right.
Well,
right. I just always liked it when Ricky Steamboat came out and was when Ricky Steamboat come out and the crowd started chanting, "You still got it."
Because he did.
Right, he did. But that was nice. The cross-eyed bastard. That's a man that has not aged well.
No.
Not at all.
At least he let his hair grow back a little bit, not be bald headed.
I bet he's horseshit if he took it.
Oh, I bet he is too. Looks like old Kenny Chesney. Now his man turned old overnight. And his hair looks like shit. You know, he was drinking last night and today. Probably later on tonight, he'll be drinking some more.
Flair's kind of like the Iron Sheik, man. People are into him.
I know.
Then Bret Hart comes out.
No. Vince will come out. Stephanie will come out. She'll come out next. I want to see Triple H go on a takeover. But I don't know if he can make any adjustments, you know? Because he did terrific with NXT.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know why I wasn't thinking about Kane coming out. He absolutely is going to be there.
Oh, good. They made him dress up.
Well, yeah, but it would be kind of.
Why not? He was the corporate Kane and all that.
That's true.
That was at WrestleMania when they told everybody to come. That was a Triple H. It was Shawn Michaels and Mick Foley and Stone Cold. Stone Cold and Mick Foley were dressed in street clothes. And then they told Shawn Michaels to dress out in wrestling gear.
Here we go. Now that's the. You think that's when Sid shit himself?
Yeah, probably. They should have never let him lose at WrestleMania. You know, I know McMahon. McMahon probably had. Let's see, what's that say? Hi, you guys. Well, hello. How are you? Please make sure you like and subscribe the page here. That'd be awesome. All three: Owensflix, Potato Shop Podcast, Maximum Libertarian.
That'd be great. Boy, going through the highlights here, the Undertaker's awesome. And I like the fact they're playing Metallica's Now That We're Dead. Very appropriate.
Through everything, there were constants here. He was a constant. His legacy is that there'll never be another.
Can you smell what Rock is cooking? They're Undertaker's. They're doing the build up to him walking out now. Right now, all the wrestlers.
They're doing a video montage of him.
Our lasting impression of the Undertaker. These are never-ending, cascading, undead phenomena. The Undertaker has won the respect from all of the fans.
Hey, everybody! While you're sitting around, click that subscribe button, and we would greatly appreciate it. Undertaker's getting ready to come out right now, so
It's truly the end of an era when you're watching the Undertaker. He comes from like the old school guys. You know, I don't know if we'll see a character like him again.
that's where they should have ended him. Right there. That end of the
WrestleMania.
air match with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. You had Jerry Lawler. I just don't think you could have got. You didn't get any better than that.
It's true.
Please welcome the chairman of WWE, Mr.
Thank you very much for subscribing. We'd appreciate it. We appreciated it. Appreciate it. I'm all tongue tied. Mr. McMahon's.
3 decades. 3 decades, this man.
Oh, Vinnie Mac's looking old.
Notwithstanding his injuries and hardships.
He
endured
look at his
fear
eyebrows.
in the hearts of, not terror, in the hearts of almost everyone he faced here in the ring. And at the same time, he entertained a global audience, be it WWF or, of course, WWE Universe currently. Tonight marks the end of an era. End of an era of a storied career. And history will never be duplicated. So tonight, we say goodbye. They say nothing lasts forever. I think they're wrong. Because the legacy of The Undertaker will live on eternally. So now I give you the dead man. Phenom. Ladies and gentlemen, The Undertaker.
Vince looks extremely rough.
Well, yes.
And I mean, he's 70 years old. I get it.
Yeah.
Probably got a lot on his mind, too.
Yeah. Best entrance in wrestling,
Yeah.
right here. You know, we had the ability to see the Undertaker in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So we got to experience the entrance here at a Raw TV taping back when it was with Paul Bear. And I'm telling you, man, there's nothing like it. I mean, it's a phenomenal entrance. Uh, one of the best ever.
While the Undertaker's walking out, for anyone that's watching, please go to Potato Shop Podcast, Potato Shop PC. Subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell. We would appreciate that.
You can also find us on Instagram at Potato Shop Podcast.
And then just look at the scrolling thing there. Follow us on Twitter while you're at it. So, Undertaker's.
Tonight we're saying goodbye to the dead man.
Correct.
With our regular podcast, though, we talk everything from pro wrestling to MMA to pop culture news, from movies, music, everything. So it's basically just a little bit of fun stuff that we enjoy, things we hope you'll enjoy. You get to hear our 2 cents on it. Join us live.
And we do have some interviews coming up. We're getting them scheduled out right now. So eventually we're going to have some bigger guests besides ourselves and you. Oh, that's nice. The rising steps. You know, he's been talking as as himself, Mark.
Right.
Callaway.
Yes.
Callaway?
Callis or whatever. Callaway.
So you would think it would let him retire talking like that.
I wonder where Hulk Hogan was.
I don't know.
Well, right now we're experiencing a little technical difficulty. It's internet's buffering right now as we speak, so we're on a freeze frame of the Undertaker. There we go. We're back.
There's a video, if you go on YouTube, you can see where he was coming out, and this could have been dangerous, but it was that elimination chamber, and the flame came up, caught him on fire, caught his jacket on fire. He had to be doused with water. I mean, if you remember when Metallica, thinking of, Metallica played the music, but remember when James
Right, he got lit up.
blasted with a flame.
Hell, The Rock didn't even come out for this.
Rock just got done filming a movie.
Yeah.
And it's
Hulk Hogan. Because I was watching a video where Hulk Hogan was talking about bringing Mark Calloway in to meet with McMahon, help get him signed. That could be Hulk Hogan talking out his ass, but I don't know why he would do that. But anyways,
You know what? And no one ever talks about when he was in that Suburban Commando.
Right.
And he was the alien.
Right.
And it was very funny. It was a very funny line because he had that high pitched voice. But no one ever talked about that. Was like a under the radar movie.
That's because it wasn't that good.
You
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed Suburban.
But by and large, most people would.
And I enjoyed Mr. Was it Nanny? Whatever the Nanny.
You wanted Hulk Hogan's movies to be so good.
Oh yeah.
No holds barred.
Garbage.
Crap. Pure unadulterated crap. It's a shame that he can't do this in front of a live audience.
No. Now, 0.5%. We still got time for Sting to show up.
Sting ain't showing up. They're not going to interrupt this.
That's only hope.
For 30 long years, I've made that slow walk to this ring and have laid people to rest time and time again. And now, my time has come. My time has come. To let the Undertaker rest in peace.
Well, you think he'll drop to a knee?
Uh,
You know, even with him in his later years, not wrestling as frequently as he used to. Undertaker was still always one of my favorites,
right.
and he'll still be one of my
Well,
favorites. Absolutely.
that wasn't much.
That's nice.
For those that are watching right now, Undertaker just dropped to his knees. They put up a hologram of Paul Bearer in the ring. So please go to Potato Shop PC right here on YouTube. Click that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and also follow us on Instagram and follow us on Twitter. Potato Shop PC on Twitter, Potato Shop Podcast on Instagram.
We talk
Please.
everything from wrestling, MMA, pop culture, music. We cover a little bit of everything. I would have thought that they would have let the guys that they all marched out there say goodbye to him in the ring.
Hug him.
I mean, I would have thought.
Well, you would have thought.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, hello. Brother. Yeah. Please go and like Potato Shop PC. Subscribe to our channel, please. We're asking you all. Follow us on Twitter at Potato Shop PC and Instagram.
Follow us
Potato
on
Shop
Instagram.
and Potato Shop Podcast.
That's right, Potato Shop Podcast.
So we would greatly appreciate that too. Thank you all for watching. Undertaker just
got up.
off his knee. Oh my gosh, we got 8 people in here. Well, the Undertaker's now slowly shuffling his way out of the ring.
There we go. You gotta give it that one more time. Yeah, the thing that's fun about the Undertaker, man, is that he's got so much really cool with the gimmick, with the
Your smile still love you, man. Your smile still killing me.
Yeah.
My smile.
I'm trying to have a serious moment here.
Yeah. Come on. Have you subscribed to the channel? Please, Potato Shop PC.
Undertaker's has left the ring. He's making his way back. He's back at the entrance. Or he's moving towards the entrance. Hell, I can't tell with the way they're filming everything. Larry, so he's making his way back now to the entrance. I still think come WrestleMania time, I think there's going to be more. There's going to be more for the Undertaker that they're going to do for him. Look for him to go into the Hall of Fame this year, and honestly, they ought to build the Hall of Fame show around him totally.
They ought to do like he did with Andre the Giant and just make it him. You don't need. Well, I think they've got JBL as some perspective or something.
Yeah.
Now let's look. Okay, thank you. Whoever that was for. Please like the channel, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, follow us on Instagram at Potato Shop Podcast, follow us on Twitter at Potato Shop PC, and then you can go to the
Now,
other channels.
for those of you that are not watching Survivor Series live here, watching the Undertaker's final walk here, he did not remove any of his gear. He's still in his hat, still in his coat. He made his entrance, but he kept all of it on. They just give up their final sign. He's making his way to the back now.
And so thank you all.
Thank you all for joining us.
Once again, like, subscribe to the channel, like
right.
the video, share the video.
Yes.
Go
catch us on the Instagram, Potato Shop Podcast.
And then there's Twitter. So until next time, we'll see you later.
That's Scott Steiner.